So you, again, as an angel investor looking out in the business, which you're not the driver of, you might not be the driver of. If an entrepreneur comes to you and says, I want to sell you, what percentage of the company would you be comfortable taking from an individual starting up a company? That if he says something, it will raise red flags, or if he says something else, it will say, okay, maybe I can work with this.
Too much or too little? Mm-hmm. Too much or too... There is not too little when somebody is looking for equity. If the only issue would be, I think, in an early stage investment, you need to be thinking that the people need to be looking at, there is a psychological barrier, a psychological law of they would not want to invest in a multiple less than 2.5% to 5%. So 5% seems to be a bit like a minimum that as an angel would be interested in. More than 30% is also very unlikely. So that also is also a very higher on the higher number. I think that my guess would be that you need to be thinking the sweet spot is between 5 and 15. 5 and 15 is because I'll be looking, are there other people who are going to come on board? Yeah. So maybe 5 to 15, 5 to 20% maximum.
But it's interesting you're talking about multiple shareholders in the business. We normally, our businesses, I think, as far as I know, we start with one person. I'm the one guy, the driver, and I'm going to push it as far as it can go. Why are you looking for multiple people as an investor? Why are you looking for other people to be in? Don't you? This thing is so cool. Let me have all of it to myself.
I have to be honest. I've never done a business by myself. I might have a property of my own, and I say okay, but I always prefer to have a partner. For the key reason is that you're not always going to be around. There's going to be a morning when you wake up and you'll be sick, and somebody needs to be able to come in. So you almost have to build in succession, especially in entrepreneurial ventures, fairly early on. You also have to build in a certain amount of what we call ownership resilience in there. There has to be more than one person who's going to die for this thing.
Okay. Like-minded people. That's where the like-minded people come in.
So if you're by yourself and you're on your own,
something happens.
Something happens to you, and there are times when you could be sick and you've got COVID and you're in a ward somewhere and you're isolated. So what happens to the business? So truly speaking, I don't encourage entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs I speak to, I don't encourage. At least you need to start out a business with 2 people, and I have never been less than 2 people is the minimum. If you don't have 2 owners to a business, just to be honest, just don't start it, because even that has got its own issues.
If I'm looking from the outside and I see only one guy, I'm like, if this guy is knocked by the bus, then I have nothing.
Yes, the problem of the bus becomes very big. Looking from the outside would be a good thing to think about, that maybe now he's inviting you in. That might not be such a bad thing, but clearly, from early on, the other thing is that a business has so many facets. You need to have minds coming together. People you can't think through all the issues. I am myself. I like to do things, the big picture, the ideas, the strategy, the direction. I enjoy that. I am not very strong on sales, human resource, hiring. Operations I do understand and I've done, but hiring, for instance, choosing people, that's not my strong point. So I need somebody who complements me to pick up on some of those things. And so if you're alone, those areas will be weak. So if your people are weak and your sales are weak, you have no business.
Yeah.
So I that's not how. So I doubt that. I mean, there are people out there who are generalists, but I'm skeptical.
You're not one of those.
I'm not one of those.